Eccentric enthusiasts.
Good evening. Welcome. It's wonderful to be on Gino's spot.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage.
Dames en heren, ladies and gentlemen, lovely to have you here at Gino's spot. Gino's spot, Gino could not make it tonight, but I am going to be filling in with him. My name is Officer Helmut Romspoet. I am here from the Queenstown Traffic Department Training Services. And I am here to say hello to all the people that are online. We are coming online tonight to check out the show. The show is an interesting show tonight. Yes, so we have got Andrew Freeborn coming to talk about the coins and cars and all sorts of things. This is our first in a series of enthusiasts. Indeed, eccentric enthusiasts. Daar sê, our first eccentric enthusiast is in fact Andrew. He is coin, hy's mal vir die geld, hoorie. Not just geld, but he like old money. You know that you get, and then you can look at it, and then it may be worth 1 cent, but then later on it worth a lot. Angela Newton, hallo Bokkie, jy is jou daar gewees ook. Nice to have you online too. En Carol Jacobs daar by Arena, daar in Oos-London. Ek kan wel jy, sy's 'n bietjie bedonderd in die kop. En daar is Robin van Graan. Nice to have you, Robin, as well. Evening to you, indeed. And of course, you know, Brian Wilkerson, is going to be interesting. You are right, it's going to be interesting because some of the people that have been posting things for us, all the coins that they have sent us, we've got a whole lot of them, we're going to talk about them all. Yes, so, and the money, you know, money is sometimes the root of all evil. Though. You know, that is the problem. That was why I became a police officer. You moet weet, we are living in a country where the police stations need panic buttons to call armed response. Yes, yeah. We are living in a country where you go to Spar to buy your wife some stockings and they ask you, what is your head size? Hulle dink pas so vir jou. We are living in a country where you can count Bafana scores on one hand with no fingers. Jy weet, dis wat ek sê vir jou. As my naam Helmut Romspoet is, I am a speedcop officer. Luister, you must know it, people, they judge me, maar ek gooi communications. We are living in a country where you can go to sleep one day, you wake up the next morning, your whole home is called Klebega. Dis die waarheid. Dis die waarheid. It's dangerous. It's dangerous if you didn't communicate. Communications, my wife is always, I communicate with my wife. Hallo Miranda Ferreira. Yes, so. As Ferreira is mos 'n porre naam, is nie? En Gary Alberts. Hallo Gary, lekker om jou te sien. Love the sessions. Nes? Hallo Sweeney Tompkins. Nee, jy soos I will check your parking because you always parking. Wendy like milkshakes. I remember you like the milkshakes, né? And like to park wherever you like when you get that milkshakes. Nee. But what I'm saying, my vrou, I worry about my wife. You know, she is feeling a bit down at times. You know, so I try to help. But communication is a story. If you go to the most, I just get my come out. If you go to the shops, I go to the shops. I try to buy her more because her wife she likes soap. It make you clean. From is women like to make clean. They have like a soaps. So I asked her for a soap. Can I please have a soap? He says, would I like it scented? I said, meneer, I will take it now. It's fine. You don't have to. I will not soek nie logistics nie vir 'n seep. You weet? En ek sê jou, because I like when I was at school. They call me Red because I read a book once, and they said I decided my wife she read a lot of book, so I say to the guy at the exclusive books, I say, can I please have a book by Shakespeare? He says, which one? I say, meneer, William. I say, daar's net een. Dames en here. Thank you to our sponsors here, Fish and Leeds. I hope that you've got your dop. Let me know what you're drinking. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to sing you a song. Ek het mos 'n bietjie dop vanaand. And we have our new gin here as well. Panthers. Woo! Daar sê. Ek speel nou 'n bietjie gitaar, hè. Ja, sê. Hoe kap ek nou? Awesome money for nothing! Ashe! That's the way you do it. And play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Your money for nothing and your chicks for free. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. You can tell you that the guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your finger. Get a blister on your thumb. Gino and the money mute is Nick Man. Miranda Ferreira, ek sien jou. Porre ja, my gebore familie. Stuart Renton, that Fish and Leeds case belie is empty. Yes, I must get some more stock. Gino microwave oven. Lynn Williams says, you got to move these, Sherilyn.
Washington says hello, Gino. I'm Brian Wilkinson. Coins in a fountain. That's right. Pick 'em all up. I hope somebody got there at the boardwalk where everybody was throwing their money in the lake. Took those microwave oven, a Sherilyn Ashington, fabulous. That's right. Barbara Gunner Manor. Keith Ronald Clark is in the house. That's right, we got some of his gin. Some punter's gin. Robin van Graan. Hey, Gino. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember you. It's Robin Craig Hill's ex. Oh yeah, Craig Hill. That's right, Jonathan Clark. Our real Patricia Renders. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot. Oh, let me put this down. Okay, the most dodgy most dodgy version of Money for Nothing you've ever heard. Stuart Renton, hello. Ron van Grant, good thanks to you too indeed. Andy Visivanger. Hello, Andy Visivanger, nice to see you. But you can't pronounce mine, Weiswanger. Weiswanger, that's obviously from German origin, yeah. Are you staying out at in the Eastern Cape in Dordrecht, one of those spots now? They've all changed their names too. I see I don't know, Stutterheim, I don't know which ones are still the same names anymore. Robin van Graan, I sang with you, yes indeed, from EL. Yes, and what a lovely voice indeed you have, Robin van Graan. Ladies and gentlemen, we have tonight, of course, our Fitch Leeds, our sponsors. Thank you very much. Let me know where you're watching from as well, obviously. And I've got a island fish bowl here from Fitch Leeds, as well as a new thing. This is Punter's Gin, which is some of the chaps that were watching sent us some of this, and I think we're going to do a little bit of a thing on them in the next little while. Punters, very nice indeed. I've got to tell you. They're very nice as far as the gin goes, you know, but the alcohol never hurt anybody. Thanks to Spa. Thank you very much to Spa for of course, supporting Gino Spot all this time. We've had, it's almost been a year now that in fact, it might be more than a year. I think it is more than a year. Now, I think we started in March. It's pretty much the 13th of March. We might even have just started, like literally in 2 days' time. It's going to be a year that we started with Gino Spot. How's that? How's that, dude? That's quite hectic. And I mean, we've all the musicians, all the comedians have all had to pivot and do something. And I think Gino Spot has been fantastic fun. And we will continue. We will go forward into the future, indeed. Tonight's show is going to be fantastic. It's our first in our series of eccentric. Gary says eccentric and passionate people, enthusiasts. Indeed, it's our enthusiasts section. And every now and again we're going to have somebody. And if you know anybody that's obviously that's interested in something that's different or something that's really passionate about something, let me know. Send me a message as well. We also have we're tying in now with Music Kitchen. Music Kitchen is starting to do shows again, and I said to them that we will definitely do a little drop in every now and again to let you know what is happening at the Music Kitchen. And Dan Platlansky is at the Music Kitchen on Sunday, this coming tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, he is insane on that guitar. When you heard my guitar now, that was really crap. Now, Dan Platansky is incredible on guitar. He's got all those blues licks down. He's a blues maniac, and as well as a rock guitar player. He's just an incredible guitar player. It's something when you go to a show and you think, wow, that's Dan. So make sure you pop around to the Music Kitchen. I don't know how many tickets are left there, but there can't be too many left, I'm sure. Dan Platansky, and give them some support. Be absolutely marvelous. I've lost my speaker now. I've lost my earphone. There we go. Back again. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, our sponsors, of course, Fitch and Leeds. We normally do a magical mixologist, which we'll be probably resuming next week. But we had a little storyline that was running from last Saturday. So we're going to continue with that. Let's see what Fitch and Leeds has to say.
When the sun goes down and you need a little tickle, Fitch and Leeds have got a flavor for the people.
This is the tale of an intrepid explorer, Fitch, and his sidekick Leeds, who, by the way, wasn't wild on adventure. Oh no, don't drop that. Lost without the list that sought to urge Shakespeare to pen their adventures of a quest to best Marco Polo in sourcing the best mixer in the world. Bravely traveling to the edge of the world without falling off. Our heroes appeared to escape perils. Except at one time, when they were arrested as suspected spies. Luckily, the prison dog enjoyed bananas. Even the Emperor Akbar enjoyed the spoils of their discoveries. Leeds had such a jolt that he stayed. Gathering his treasure, Fitch smugly headed for the docks with his entourage in tow. Ah, poor sad Marco.
Fitch and Leeds have got a mixer that'll fix you on the table.
Fitch and Leeds, the bespoke mixer for the discerning individual. A little mystery story there for you. We've got Fitch and Leeds, of course, tonight, as well as, like I said, this Punter's Gin. Winner's choice. Very, very nice indeed. So we know that's landed in PE now as well. So to have a look out for that. That's fantastic. Always supporting Gino's spot indeed. And thank you to Spar again. And thank you to Amobia, our internet, which you can't quite see on the sun. It's Amobia. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had quite a response for this show. I thought of Andrew when I thought of coins, and I thought of a topic that would be able to include you guys at home. If you found some old coins, everybody's got coins in their drawer at the back, and so quite a few of you sent in coins as well. We're gonna have a look at it. But Andrew's also into cars. He's got an Alfa and he's got a Mini, which he absolutely loves, and he's into Formula One. He's done an amazing program for Formula One, which we'll also discuss as well. So without any further ado, before he moans anymore about not being included in the royal family, in the palace life of the royal family, let's get on. Andrew Freeborn, welcome.
Good evening, officer. How can I help you?
No, yes, sure. Have you been drinking? I hope so.
I've only been drinking this fine beverage from Fitch and Leeds.
Oh, very good. I'm very glad about that. Oh, there's Mark Telford
Gino.
saying, how's it? Hello, Mark Telford. Evening, boys, he says. All in caps. Have you got your caps lock on, young man? There we go. Andrew, welcome to Gino's Spot for the first time.
You.
And it's wonderful to have you on. I've known you since school days.
Yeah.
I know that we met in a musical way, and also in a musical military way. That one time at band camp,
Yes.
we had a camp together, and you were a buglist from Queen's College.
I was a trumpeter. And,
I was a trumpeter.
Yes, no,
Like
there's a
something.
very fine distinction there, but important to us brass players.
Yes. Do you still play trumpet?
No, I haven't in years. It's sitting in my lounge, but I haven't
Good.
taken it out in literally decades.
It's a display trumpet now. Then you mean?
Not even. It lives in the case with the two violins.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I suppose you don't take it out because I know why. Because you're OCD, and it probably will ruin the chrome or the brass or whatever it is.
No, I tell you what it is for me, Gino. I've tried to pick up the occasional instrument again years later.
Yes.
And if you remember what you sounded like when you were competent and in practice, and you pick it up like 15 years later, it sounds absolutely dreadful. And it's so discouraging that you wouldn't really want to inflict that on yourself. Oh, that's a
You've
bit
got to do it.
I look less
There we go.
red. Yeah.
Yes, but brighter. Lovely, lovely.
Thanks.
And I'm loving that little skull in the background there. I don't know if anybody else has noticed the little skull. Tell us about that there, Andrew.
Oh, that
Yeah, that's
guy
right.
over, I can't find my finger.
Yeah, it's your right hand.
There. Yeah. Oh no, that's a 3D printed replica of the famous Tong skull that was found near Sterkfontein many years ago, almost more than 100 years ago now, and it kind of turned a lot of the theory about human evolution upside down, because at that point everybody assumed that humans had originated in Europe, and this was one of the first clues that we all come from Africa. And this one is a trial piece. I'm printing some skulls for an exhibition, hopefully, at Ezeco Museum that will be opening next year. So it's
amazing that you can print it out. So you got a 3D printer, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, they are amazing things. I literally recommend them to anybody. They're incredible amounts of fun.
And you can do that for a fraction of the price of what they would have normally got some sort of sculptor or an artist or something to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, the thing that makes 3D printing amazing is that it suddenly brings fabrication within the reach of a household. So the other day I wanted something to hold my huge stack of spare AA batteries, and I was able to just click over to the internet, download a battery dispenser, print it out, and there you go, problem solved. And that's what
does it fit in your man drawer?
Yeah,
because all the AA batteries are in the man drawer. There was like 1 million batteries in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So now it's organized. Oh, hello, Martin.
Yes, Martin. Yes, it's Magnum PI got it all. He hasn't got a snore. He's got the whole tootie going on there, Martin. It's. No, I can't say that you look like anyone specific, Andrew. Thomas, but the Thomas Magnum is the shirt. Obviously, he's noticed the shirt.
Oh, you must see me when I'm driving around in the red Alfa, man. It's
there we go.
Living the dream.
That too.
Sometimes I even have the internal monologue in the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep, that's the one.
Oh, excellent. And Higgins with these two. I used to love Thomas Magnum. It's amazing what we used to watch in the old days. We had to sit down and watch TV. It was like 6 o'clock.
Yes, you were on a ship. But the funny thing about it is, Gino, what I do when it's load shedding, what I'm going to do after 8 o'clock tonight, is I've got the whole of Magnum PI loaded up onto my iPad, and when the lights go off, I go and sit on the sofa with the cats, and I watch Magnum PI. And even though the clothing and the cars have obviously peg it as being an 80s TV show, one thing I will say about it is the stories have not aged. The stories are
really
very well written, and they're almost universal. They translate well to today, and it's still very, very enjoyable.
TC with a helicopter, I remember that.
Yeah.
So it has translated well to later. It's lasted. It's got some legs.
Yeah, very much. Hello, Natasha.
Natasha, look at that, all the way from the icy UK. Oh my word, it must be. It's so hot here. It is so hot here.
Yeah.
Gary and I, we got ice, mostly ice in these drinks here. It's fantastic. But now, so Andrew, you were at Queen's College. Did you enjoy school?
To be honest, not particularly. I enjoy it more in retrospect than I did at the time.
Really? It was you border? Were you border?
No, I was a day boy.
Are you day boy?
Yeah. And maybe the experience is different when you're a day boy, but as you well know, I involved myself in all manner of entertaining things like the band and the creation of havoc and speaking at length. to pass the time. And yeah, no, look, I'm glad I was able to go to a school like that at a time like that, because I fear that a lot of young people don't have the experiences we had at our very similar schools. So yeah, it was a rich source of memory and build character building, just like they said, and I didn't believe them at the time.
They did say so. And you know that band, that camp, it was a cadet camp that we went on, and we got our little badge for. I was doing drums, you were doing the trumpet, and I remember at that stage even you talking to me about Aida, and we were singing Aida late at night. And it was by Italian roots, and I remember we stayed up so late we had to clean out the piss pipes the next day because we got in a crap.
Right, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we did, just because we got into conversation, you know.
Yeah, I think our tent was because we were kind of like in the middle of the campground, and so we often had the other late night sleepers passing through, but we were like a hive of activity. We'd sit and talk till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Much to the concern of the military personnel who were overseeing us.
Yes. I know, and what a mix of people! It's incredible. You think back to the guys that have been to the army as well. You know, you get this insane mix of people going to one camp or one place, and you know, it's like axe murderers to lawyers and to. Well, I mean, that's okay. Those two are pretty similar, but I mean, you know, priests to paupers, and everybody was in there, you know.
And those were just the officers in charge of us.
Exactly. Exactly. Crazy. So I have fond memories of that, and then I know that you left your boots behind, and I tracked you down afterwards, and that's how we kind of kept in touch. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I found your boots. Your grandfather's boots. Were they? Have you still got them? Are they good value?
No, I don't remember whose boots they were, but they were they were some kind of military kit from my family, and those boots stood me in good stead. I'm glad I didn't have to live for those 2 weeks walking through the bush and stuff in grasshoppers.
Indeed. Indeed. And then so Queen's College, and then after school, Queenstown. Did you went to Stellenbosch? Is that right?
Yes. No, I headed off to Stellenbosch because I was suffering from the delusion that I wanted to be a doctor, and I got there and realized that geneeskunde, as one of my lecturers famously said while they were in the process of showing me the door, meneer Freeborn, geneeskunde pas nie by jou nie. And I remember being incredibly offended, but only because while he'd made this little speech, it was tea time, and his secretary had brought in tea for two. There were 2 cups, etc. And he drank his tea and didn't offer me any. And I thought, what manner of man is this?
Yes, no, honestly.
Yes. But yes, no, honestly, Gino, I was miserable. By the time I was about halfway through my 3rd year of study, I was fixing computers. In actual fact, the university was one of my clients. They didn't know this.
Oh, wow.
But I was, in fact, fixing university machines for a bit of spare cash. And and it was a natural transition for me to drift from that into the computer industry, because I was already, it was a great time. It was an undiscovered country. There was a great many things you could do and learn, and so I made the jump.
Yes, it's and I mean I know that that sounds absolutely perfect for you, because you've always been into that thing. And now at the moment during lockdown, I mean, has it affected your job? What are you doing at the moment? What did you end up going into?
I ended up going into programming, which was always the thing I was primarily interested in. And what I mean, when I lived in Port Elizabeth for many, many years, most of the coding work you do there is industrial automation. So you do little bits of factory production lines, and you program PLCs, and you design the computers that operate.
What's a PLC?
It's like a factory computer. It's a computer that works in a factory. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
A PLC. What does it stand for?
Programmable logic controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know something new now. So do the guests.
And then I landed up in the early 2000s, moving to Cape Town to actually to get married, which didn't work out.
Really didn't work.
But then I found myself here, and I had to see what I could port my code to, and I've landed up sort of falling into the retail space. So I write code that sends big chunks of data from head offices to stores.
Yes.
One of the big projects I've been very fortunate to work on in the last few years is a sort of massive web-based ordering and inventory and auditing system. So I do a lot of coding for them, and that's a very rewarding project because it's breaking new ground. And because of that, during the lockdown, I was extremely fortunate in that my work actually stepped up, didn't slow down.
Wow.
So because as you said, everybody was needing to pivot now to find a way to run their business in the new space, and that hit the FMCG
you're positioned to do it
particularly hard.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I had a great.
You lucky bastard.
Well, you seem to have pivoted very effectively yourself.
That's done all right, but gee whiz, there were some moments, as everybody knows that's watching now, I'm sure, that hell's bells. You think to yourself, what on earth I've never in a million years thought the government would stop me from being a comedian. Surely when things are bad, you want to laugh, but no. No.
Oh, it was
not
so
allowed.
amazing. The way it just unfolded, from the announcement of a 3-week lockdown, and by the next day it was like, oh yes, and you also can't buy cigarettes, and it's like, what?
Is it crazy? Oh no, what are you talking about? What's that got to do with it? It's like now all of a sudden your rights are being infringed on. I got my rights.
We'll all remember the days of the Rinderpest fondly in the future.
Yes, we will. We'll look back on these days and have a good old chuckle. Oh my word! But Andrew, but now I got you in because look, you've always been online. We met up about 20 years, probably 10 or 15 years after we first met. We met up again, and we've kept in touch, and it's been fantastic. And obviously, on Facebook has helped, and I know that you're no stranger to controversy. You've always out there giving your opinion about something. And recently it was the royal family. I loved that. I thought that was hilarious. That they won't let you come into doing palace life.
No, they're excluding me, and
yes, it's really unfair.
Well, it makes me feel terrible, but Gino, we also it's a very contentious thing these days, and something that actually does count for people is what they experience themselves. There's an old saying that I don't really think is applicable here, but it sets the principle of never attribute to malice what can be adequately explained by stupidity. And I think you can twist that around into, don't assume somebody's actually setting out to do a bad thing. They might be reacting emotionally on their own stuff.
Yes.
So I don't want to hammer too hard on the Sussexes tonight.
Yes, no, that's fine. We'll leave them alone. Oh my word! But Andrew, what I love about you is that you're very passionate about anything that you get involved in, and I feel akin to it because I've also got involved in certain things in my life I feel that if you don't give it everything, it's not worth doing. You know what I mean? So. I know you're into cars, and F1, which I'm absolutely loving at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, F1 is heating up this week because for those viewers who do not know, all the cars are currently being run for the first time. All the 2021 cars have been dragged out the garage, and they've got 3 days to test them. and
In Bahrain.
yes, in Bahrain, and it's
Bahrain.
it's exciting because you see the new color schemes and the sort of jockeying position, trying to see who's sandbagging, who's actually doing well, how reliable the cars are. It's been an interesting couple of days for Formula One. Yeah.
And in that sand, I don't understand why they chose that track. I mean, it seems the one that's most likely to go wrong.
But I think it's also one of the more central ones. So it's
right.
It works. I have no doubt that there's some kind of financial incentive that sends them there rather than Monza, and it's also become the traditional testing track of the pre-season. So
okay. So they've done it quite a few times now.
They have, yeah.
Okay. Because those cars are just looking absolutely stunning. I mean, they obviously had some time during lockdown to get the colors and stuff right.
Somebody said that the new Ferrari looks a bit like a tomato because it's got its like green sponsor branding on the cover.
Yes.
And the car, as it gets towards the back, it shades into a darker red. But I think you're going to find that plays very, very well on TV. I think the car is going to pop rather nicely.
All those cars are looking beautiful. Even the Williams.
The Williams have really stepped up their livery game.
Yeah.
But the way the McLarens have tweaked their new car it's just lovely.
Like
the dazzling blue stripe running over the carbon fiber at the front of the car. It just gives such a nice effect. You almost want to support a non-Italian team, don't you?
No ways.
Almost.
And tell me, the one that I wasn't sure, the Alpine. What is the Alpine? What was it before?
Oh, that was Renault. Alpine is or Alpine as the French prefer. Alpine. Alpine has for many years been Renault's motorsport brand. They're kind of like the AMG of the Renault world. And they've just made the switch this year to using Alpine as their Formula One team name. And I must say that red and blue car looks very nice too. So.
Beautiful. I mean, I can't fault any of the cars. They're all looking fantastic. I think we're going to be. I'm really reignited for the Formula One this year. That last year, I think everybody's looking for the fact that Hamilton is going to fall from his podium before he. Oh, and he's already broken Schumacher's record, hasn't he? Or has he? I can't remember now.
He has, but Gino. It depends how you measure it. I mean, right now, there isn't enough time left in Hamilton's career for him to lose his status as the top Formula One driver of all time, even if he comes last in every race.
Really?
He really has cemented his position. Very, very quietly, he's kind of not only eclipsed Schumacher, but been a completely different kind of driver from what Schumacher was, whose shall we say modality of excellence is completely different. It would be, if you take the three top names in terms of all-time success, you have Hamilton, Schumacher, and Fangio. Well, Hamilton, Fangio, and Schumacher technically.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. So
and the idea of measuring them against each other is absurd because they're three completely different drivers who drove in completely different ages in cars that were qualitatively completely different. The way they did things. I mean, Hamilton is the master of teamwork. He wants to be nice and cozy and surrounded by the best people in the world, and then he does his bit and they win. Yeah. Whereas Schumacher's way of winning was essentially to see everybody else on the track as a mortal enemy for the duration of the race. And that also works. That's what gave him the focus. And then if you go back to the 50s, old Fangio his way of winning was simply to drive the car faster.
Yeah, gung-ho.
In an uncanny way. It would be like, I've just broken the lap record 5 laps in a row, but I need to go faster. What can we do? And somehow he always managed to pull it out of the hat. No, I mean, being able to see those three racing together in something that they never drove, like an Australian touring car.
Yeah,
It would be incredibly fascinating. But
It would,
yeah,
just for those of you who don't know as well, I know that one of the things about you is that you've got this program that you've written, obviously with your love of computers and Formula One, and you've written a program that takes all the drivers from the beginning of Formula One, I would say, and puts them all together. But you've taken every single how can I say some drivers raced less, some drivers raced in the 50s and there weren't as many Grand Prix. You've kind of taken that all into account in your, your algorithm.
I've tried to normalize the data. Comparing drivers from different eras is practically impossible. But what we can measure is their relative success compared to each other. How dominant were they? How dominant and were they dominant for the same duration? And basically what I did is I at night, when all the work was done, I think I must have started this in about 2012. I started fettling a little algorithm and there were many wrong turns along the way, but I eventually came up with something that I was happy with and put it out there. And so basically it's just a website that I update from time to time. Well, I try to update it within 24 hours of every race. And I'm going to pop the
put the thing in the comments, please.
Comment.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
Now I have to remember.
And please, those of you watching, please tag anybody that's interested in Formula One, because they must have a look at this this website. It's absolutely amazing. I was just looking today, and I look at it quite regularly, but I sort of pick out people. And we had the Scribantes on a little while ago. I don't know if you saw that Gino Spot show, but if you don't, you must go and have a squiz. We had the Scribantes, and the Scribantes actually had a Formula One team, a South African Formula One team.
That's right, yeah.
And it was amazing to go back and look at a bit of the history of these guys, these privateers. There we go. That's the one. Formula1.andrew.co.za. Congratulations on getting the andrew.co.za, by the way. I love that. But these privateers that were going for it,
Yeah, just to warn our viewers, though. I mean, you do have to be a real Formula One numbers nerd to find this interesting. It's not dressed up. It's not. It's not. It's just out there because I've done it, and now somebody does need to look at it. And
it's great fun because you put hyperlinks on all the drivers. So you go down and you see, whoa, look at that guy. He's South African. Why do you, and you click on it and it takes you to the Wikipedia page. I love it. I absolutely love it.
But it also gets me a lot of flaming sometimes. It's the standard. How can Gilles Villeneuve be ranked below David Coulthard?
Easy.
But I always tell people that my preferred drivers don't necessarily rate near the top either. It's it's not really about how good they were. It was how successful they were. You take a guy like André.
There we go. Gary's got it up here.
Take a guy like
Fantastic. I love it.
Who ranks like right near the bottom, sort of in the bottom 5, and yet he's one of the most accomplished racing drivers of our era. It's just that he's.
Tell me the name again.
André Lotterer, a Dutch driver.
Dutch. I thought it was only Jos Verstappen. It was a Dutch driver.
A good number of Dutch drivers in Formula One.
Okay.
Zandvoort. His Lotterer's opportunity in Formula One was a bad one. He was handed a hospital pass, and there was no real way he was going to be able to stretch his legs and show what he can do. But he did that in other Formula, so he sucks in the Formula One ranking, but he's way up there on GT racing and Le Mans and stuff like that.
Gee whiz, okay. Because I was looking at Alberto Escari, which was an Italian driver. In fact, the only Italian champion, as far as I know, in Ferrari.
Possibly, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. I think he was the only one the only Italian in a Ferrari that's actually won a championship, and he won 2 in a row, and he won so many races in his short little stint. He was killed in an accident, I think, after 2 years or something, but he's right up there because he won just about everything he entered in.
No, it was astounding. You know, I think he had 100% podium record, which meant that he was first, second, or third in every race that he
Race.
drove. Yeah.
And these crazy drivers, I mean, they were driving in death traps. I see Derek Albert saying he spent time with Fernando Alonso, you bastard.
That must have been an incredible experience, Derek. And of course, we're very happy to see Fernando back in Formula One this year, with his broken jaw and all.
Yes, he's got steel in his face or something.
Yes, he had a terrible cycling accident in the off season, and they sort of had to patch his jaw up, and he's still got to go for another surgery. But his time in the practice run today was right up there, very, very respectable.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be great to see him back, because he really is one of the most fantastic drivers of the current and immediately preceding generation.
Amazing. Just as a wrap up for Formula One, I see McLaren's got doing some good times at the moment. Do you think some of these guys are stalling? They're just like, Mercedes. What is Toto Wolff is saying? No, we will just wait it out. We will see.
I've absolutely no doubt. There's always sandbagging involved in Formula One preseason testing. The top guys are guarding their secrets. 2 years ago, Mercedes arrived at the preseason testing with what was effectively a fake car.
Oh, the bastards!
Yeah, they had none of the aerodynamics on, and they sort of landed up midfield, and everything was looking okay. And then they were like, "Yes, we shall have an update before the first race." And of course, this thing rolled out of the wagon at the first race, and it was. Whereas the test car looked a bit chunky, and this thing was sleek and smooth and had these aerodynamic tricks to it that were breathtaking, and it won everything. That's going to be happening again.
Oh my word! You see, we first did testing in Namibia. After day 1, he was nowhere in the dunes. After day 2, Janelle de Villiers said, "This guy's incredible. How he managed to be improved in an exponential way overnight. It's almost unheard of." So obviously he just got to know that car so quickly.
Listen, doesn't matter who you support. You kind of save a sliver of your support for whatever team Nando is driving for, because he really is that good.
Yeah.
And he's a delight to watch. The way the car. Murray Walker used to talk about the body language of the car.
Yeah.
And Fernando drives a car in a way that's got spectacular body language as well as speed.
I love it. It's the Latin blood. I think it's the Latin blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the flair, the passion. It's great.
Of course, passione, like passione.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Derek. That's very awesome. Yeah.
Derek, of course, is our sports presenter. He presents sports on from the rugby, the Super Sport, eh? Super Sport. So you'll see him on the rugby. You'll see him on the rugby when I don't know what rugby's going on at the moment. I don't know if there's much, but but surely you'll be there. And of course the Alfa's in there.
Yeah,
well.
They are. Yeah. Although when they say it's Alfa, it has nothing to do with the Alfa factory other than money. It's actually the Sauber team that Alfa Romeo came along and said, listen,
Sauber,
we're effectively buying you. Keep your factory, keep doing what you're doing, but you're Alfa now, which is great.
Wow.
Because
that's fine.
Yeah.
It's still Alfa then. That makes it more Alfa than I thought it was. I thought they were using a Ferrari engine or something.
Yeah, they are using a Ferrari engine, but so did Sauber.
Okay. Oh, I see. So that's good. That's fine. It makes me feel a little bit better then.
Oh, there's no reason to feel bad at all. I mean, they are unfortunately at the back of the field, but
Yes.
We see
Yeah.
what happens this year because
Indeed.
you know how it is with Italian teams. It's spectacular success or
Terrible
groveling
failure.
defeat.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, just to get in from the cars before we get into the coins, we need to talk about your cars because you're an Alfa fan. You've got a 147. I know I've got one too here, and but I know that yours is immaculate.
Oh, it's not so immaculate anymore, Gino. It's had a hard 2 years. It's had a hard 2 years. As our 147s are reaching the age where they're getting close to the precipice now, and a lot of things start going wrong at the same time. And
Oh, my word.
it's devil to get parts for them. It's
Yes.
it's quite hard to find people to work on them. I've been extremely disappointed by
Oh dear. Cape
literally
Town.
all of the Italian car places in Cape Town. Eventually, I found some BMW guys, BMW trained guys that have a workshop in Montague Gardens, a fantastic place. If you don't mind me name dropping,
No, go for it.
the chaps at VDN Auto. And in desperation, I ended up taking my Alfa to them, and everything they've done on it so far has been a success. Like it's not only a success, but an increment back to where she should be. So I've been incredibly happy.
She being the car, yes.
The car. This is a lesser the Alfa, and yeah. But I mean, I still love the car, but she's getting old, and I'm starting to look around for something else. And I have to admit, you're welcome to just end transmission now when you hear me say this, but I'm drifting towards Subaru.
Subaru. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I don't know about Subaru. I've never driven one. It just seemed that one Subaru that came out that seemed like it was already had the wings and the superchargers and the stuff, and the Impreza.
Impreza, yes.
Impreza, yes.
Impreza,
Yes, it was
yeah.
trying to impress people already,
It was
even
trying
in
to
standard
impress
standard mode.
I kind of like the Forester, especially the older Forester, things that are more station wagony.
Oh my God!
Yes, I've always loved station
Station
wagons.
wagons.
Yeah,
From a
station
147 to a station wagon. I mean, honestly.
147 is just like a short station wagon. That's why I don't want a Giulia, because I don't believe cars should have boots.
Oh right.
Because why would you go to a car dealer and say, okay, so you see that space, the top half of the car between the back of the back seats and the back edge, I don't want
Yes.
that. Take that off. You're dragging that vertical footprint around with you anyway. You may as well be able to put stuff there. And
Indeed. No, fair cop.
yeah, that's what boots are there to put spoilers on. And if you're not going to have a spoiler, you should have a station wagon.
No, I can't agree with you there. I don't think a station wagon looks very nice at all. You may as well say a Golf is a station wagon as well. Then it's just a shorter one.
It is like a short one. And overseas, you actually got a Golf station wagon, and you had to look twice because it simply is a slightly longer Golf.
Right. Oh man, but yeah, your Mini is your love of your life, and I know is it a little GT?
It's a GTS. Thank you very much.
GTS. Okay,
Yes.
GTS. The Mini, and that's taken a bit of time. That's why you got your 3D printer to print parts for it.
Yeah, that was the original justification I had for a 3D printer because there's a lot of old plastic parts from the 70s that they get broken and you just can't get them anymore. But yeah, the Mini is a very beautiful little car. She's a GTS, which is in the global scheme of things, a very rare South African only variant of the Mini. It's very Cooper S-like, but in a Clubman shaped body shell. And they made them in South Africa from about it must have been about 1970 or so, 72, 73, up to 1980. And they only made about 4,000 of them. And of course, overseas people know the GT, which is the famous high-performance mini that Mark Bolan, for example, was killed in.
Oh.
You know the guy from singer from
Ooh.
T-Rex? Yeah.
Yeah, get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
That guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Love Mark
and we
Bolan.
briefly got those in South Africa, and then our local content regulations kicked in. And that said that we couldn't import the high-performance motors anymore. So we made our own in South Africa.
Oh, right.
And we made it better.
Nice.
And you know, now Mini World magazine in the UK is having front page articles about mini GTSs and things like that. And, yeah.
Wow.
I looked for one for 15 years because I used to drive a little Mini when I was just started driving, and the GTS would have been the performance step up from mine. And when I got to Cape Town and I found myself with a little bit of expendable income, I started looking around for a GTS. Eventually, I found one after looking not intensively, but intermittently for 15 years. And believe it or not, it was hidden in the garage in the house across the road from where I lived.
Oh, no ways. It always turns out like that.
Yeah, so I bought it, and I thought I'll probably have this thing running in sort of with a weekend's work on the carburetors. It landed up being an 18-month process. I landed up making a whole swathe of new friends with special vintage car mechanical skills. I was incredibly fortunate to find a gentleman by the name of Dennis Nathan, who used to work at the factory and used to race minis from like the 1970s onwards. And I see we have a request for a picture of the
picture.
And
yes, have you got a picture of your cars?
I do have a picture of my cars. Give me a second. I'll talk to you while I ferret it up.
Yes.
And yes, there's nothing to know about minis that old Dennis doesn't know. And
excellent.
He is.
You need somebody like that.
Yes, I would not have been able to do this without Dennis's kind patience and assistance and his incredible way of teaching. So that's been wonderful.
So I'm sure you would have loved. We've got the over here at our spot here. We've got the little bubble car, the little Heinkel bubble car that my father-in-law used to have, and is quite well known in Port Elizabeth as well. And we've shipped it off to the museum now, the car museum up the road here near the Hellenic Hall, and they're looking after it there for us. But I don't know if I'm sure people in PE know that car. I see Pat Wood saying that it's a coffee serving station. That's the estate. Oh, there we go. That looks lovely.
There's the little
British Racing Green.
Yes, with the gold stripe, which
beautiful.
Is sort of the iconic aspect of the GTS. And as you can see, especially around the front, she's still a little bit rough here and there, but her engine is basically like a new engine now. It's been rebuilt, to full racing spec by the good Mr. Dennis Nathan, and she purrs
lovely.
like an absolute beaut. It's a lovely little car to drive. Yeah. Anyway,
Alfa, have you got a? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. We're back. I'm not going to show you pictures of her. She's feeling a little bit old and dowdy these days. So.
But now, Andrew, we get to the part that we were looking for here, and that is your coins. Tell us, how did you get into your coins?
Well, Gino, I was I come from a family of pack rats. I mean, we collect things.
Orders.
It's in my genes, and everybody in my family collected stamps. I'm very enthusiastic and still do. I mean, beautiful stamp collections, and I basically got a little bit tired of having to wait for the stamps to move down the pecking order before I got them, and I decided, well, I should collect something else that nobody else collects, and so I got into coins when I was about 12, and I collected quite actively until I was 20, And then I got busy doing other things. And
You would have thought as a teen you'd be not interested in coins. You'd think you'd get let go later. You did it the opposite way around, Andrew.
I'm an incredible nerd. It's
I didn't want to say it myself, you know.
yeah, no, you don't have to. It's all good. And when I was about 12, I started collecting coins. I had a long break, and then one day there was a break-in, and I thought that all my coins were gone.
Yeah.
And I was like incredibly sad about this, and that kickstarted me into collecting again. And over time, I discovered that here and there were still some of my old coins. So I've got those in my collection now.
Yeah.
The special ones that I hadn't just put in the album in the box that happened to go missing. And
Yes.
I before you know it, you go into auctions and you're trying to figure out how to store 5,000 coins without just chucking them all in a big bucket.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, that's what happened there.
Gee whiz. And I mean, I know that I mean, coin collection is you constantly doing it. I suppose you must be attuned to that. I mean, you're looking around the whole time. Every time you go to some sort of festival or something, you're looking for some more.
Oh, Gino, it's more than that. I mean, I remember the one day I'd been in town for meetings, and I was rushing back to Tableview, and I was driving, and I really needed to have a pee. And so I pulled into one of the shopping centers, but they have a coin op bathroom door, and I didn't have any coins. So I rushed back outside, and I went to the parking guard, and I said, I needed a 2 rand coin. Here, have a 10 rand note. And he gave me a 2 rand coin, and the one he gave me was a date that I had been looking for. It was one of the rare dates. And now I had this terrible. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that happened. And,
Okay,
and
right, I get it.
So
It's actually about more of an obsession, you mean?
It's something it becomes a subroutine that runs all the time, and eventually you suddenly find yourself surprised that you can spot a Roman coin in a pile lying on a market stall, from 20 paces away, and it almost feels like you can smell them after a while. So.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that as well, because I know we put a little call out for people to put their coins up, and I don't know if anybody if they want to tag their friends. If you want to tag your friends, we can. If you post a picture of a coin in the comments, Gary's going to be having a look around the comments as well. I'm going to see if we can get pictures up for Andrew to have a look at. But we'd be happy to have a look and see.
Yeah. Some of your kind and fascinating viewers have sent through some very, very interesting things. And I know
Let's have a look.
I know I promised Angela Newton that I'd run through hers. I'm going to add this now to the thing. The reason why I chose Angela's coins is because it's such a lovely snapshot of the kind of thing that I normally see when somebody says, "I've got some old coins. Would you like to have a look at them?"
Okay.
This over here is a crown coin. It's about it's just short of 4 centimeters in diameter, and it's the old 5 shilling
That's
coin.
quite big, eh?
They're big, impressive, beautiful coins. And this one commemorates Queen Elizabeth II's coronation.
She's there. She's watching.
Yeah. It was the coin that was minted and dished out to school children and stuff like that in 1953. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh wow, and 53, the coronation, of course. Okay.
Yes, yeah, and it's special because for the first time ever, the monarch of the UK elected to appear on a coin on her horse rather than just with a profile picture like everybody else.
Side saddle.
Yeah, side saddle nogal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lovely coin. I mean, it's not worth an incredible amount of money. I don't really want to speak about the value of coins too much here, just in broad terms. But it really is a lovely coin and commemorates one of the pivotal events of the 20th century.
Yes.
This little set is also very nice. It comes from more or less the same era. And of course, it's the old money. So you've got
Old
your
money.
Yes, you've got your farthing. Can you guys see the crosshairs of my mouse?
Yes, we can. Yes.
So you've got your farthing, which is a quarter penny, and your half penny and your penny. And then you've got a threepenny, what we used to call a tikkie in South Africa. But these are British. And our tikkie was a small silver coin. The Brits went to the slightly bigger brass coin. And so we've got a threepenny, a sixpence, a shilling, which is 12 of these guys.
Jeez, okay.
and at the time, the UK had 2 shillings. There were shillings for Britain and shillings for Scotland. They were kind of mixed together, and I don't think they were issued under those geographic borders. But they've got 2 different coats of arms on, and then your florin, or 2 shillings, and your half crown. And all of these together with the previous coin would have made the full set of coinage for the UK for that time.
Wow. So it's got a full set for 1953 there, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if these are all 1953s because I can't make out the dates on all of them. But yes,
there's a 53.
Yeah, at least one of them is a 53.
Yeah.
And then there's this. She sent this along, and you know, I nearly lost my composure when I saw that.
Oh, really?
Because that is identifiable as a sort of early 1300s grosso from Milan. And Angela, I'm going to disappoint you terribly here and tell you that isn't what it is. It's actually a replica that was made in the 1970s and given out by one of the Italian banks. And I know this for certain because the replicas all have exactly the same pattern above the saint's head, whereas the proper ones, the silver ones, are they minted on a blob of metal, so the variation in the pattern changes. But you can confirm this because if you can pick it up with a magnet, then what I'm telling you is true. If you can't pick it up with a magnet, then you are
might be an original,
something that is quite valuable.
Wow. I wonder how much an original silver one would be.
I imagine that you'd be looking at something in the region of 400 to 800 rand.
Wow. Okay. For an original one, or for this,
unless it was in incredibly good condition. And I mean, this is a good time to talk about the value of coins because the thing that's important is more the condition than what the coin is. So they're graded in steps, and a coin of the one step down from the highest grade is worth half as much, and one step down from that is half as much as before. So the value decreases exponentially.
Yes.
So a cheap coin, a very common coin in exceptional condition is actually worth quite a lot. Unless the coin is dated for the year you're actually in which case there's just too many.
It's the same.
So
it literally does gain value every year that it gets older.
Yes, I mean your big steps in value come when coinage changes. So in 1989, when we shifted onto the new coins, that's more or less when the old nickel coinage started gaining value. But,
so you mean when the euro took over in Europe as well? Would those older coins be worth more?
They're worth more than they were, but they're still worth next to nothing.
Oh, right. There's too many in the round. I see. My uncle, Philip is telling my uncle Nedo was he might have been as OCD as you, Andrew. He was also a hoarder.
Yeah, these are more British coins. They're 2 more threepences and a half penny. Now this was an interesting one, and this is the whole reason why I wanted to speak about these coins, because it just goes to show what gems you can find in a drawer. There's a rather nice threepence, and that's a South African
Yes.
1 shilling with the Cape of Good Hope lady on the back. That coin, the 50, that's a German coin, but that coin will be from 1949.
Wow.
And
Okay.
and I see Angela has commented that a magnet picks it up. Yeah.
Damn.
Now you'll see that coin says Bank Deutschlander, whereas
Yeah.
the ones after that said, Bundesrepublik Deutschland.
Okay.
So this is the rare transitional one. This is from almost the first set of coins of the Deutschmark. And you'll see that beneath the 50, it's got a little J.
Yes.
Now,
I see that.
now Germans are lovely people, but they always cause us coin collectors problems because they have so many mints. They've got like 5 mints that cover the whole of Germany. So for every German coin to have the full set, you've got to have 5 of them, 1 from each mint.
Gee whiz.
The J there indicates the mint, and I couldn't be bothered to look up which mint it is.
Okay.
But that's a nice coin. It's a very nice coin. But the
Valuable
one next,
coin?
not massively valuable, but far more than average for old Deutschmark coinage because of the year, because it's the one with the original slogan on it. But sitting right next to it over there is that little East African cent, I'd guess. And that is fantastic because it's got a 1955 date on it.
Yes.
Which means that it is the incredibly hard to get Queen Elizabeth edition. You can get the King George V and the King George VI, and even the King Edward VII one, because they managed to get some coins out during his short reign.
Oh, right, his short reign.
Yeah, but Africa's colonization was winding down when Queen Elizabeth came to the throne, so they didn't make that many of the ones minted in her name. So that is nice. That's a good couple of tens around there. It was lovely to see. I always look for the Elizabeth ones. Oh, one more thing that's quite important about that. You'll see that coin's got a hole in it, and the old people used to say that a lot of African coins have holes in them because the tribesmen, they don't have pockets, and what they do is they thread them on a string. And that's actually incredibly racist and nonsense. I understand that people believe that, but the reality is that a lot of the Francophone countries in Europe also had coins with holes in them, and they certainly have pockets. It's a simple matter of you can make a bigger coin out of the same amount of metal if you put a hole in the bottom, in the middle. And it makes it easier for people to handle because smaller coins, as you know from our 10-cent coins, are hard to handle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover there. But we've got some other wonderful coins that have come in. Yes, now that is. Yeah, now there's quite a lot of them. But that's a square coin from Holland. The old Nederland 5-cent coins used to be square like this, and because they're so cool and interesting, people hang on to them, and so they're quite hard to find in the open market. They cost more than the 10-cent and the 2.5-cent would. And it was lovely to see that. The orange and the blossoms and the
Is this also part of Angela's collection? Yeah.
No. This is. I'm sorry, I forget because I made folders and everything. And I forget the person's name.
Okay.
So if you watch and you recognize your coin, please just
pop up a comment if you recognize your coin. Yes.
Gino, you know the answer to this. It's the one you asked me to look at when we chatted just before the show.
I sent I looked in my coins, and I found an old thick coin, and I thought, this is the one. I'm rich. and I put up a coin.
I am sorry, my friend, but not. We'll talk about that in a second because there's another one of the coins here. I just want to do the decent thing and find the person's name. because
yes, I can't remember who it was. Oh, there's a Lee.
That's
It's Lee
Lee
Dazel's
Dazel.
coin.
yes,
Yes.
my apologies, and thank you for checking in. This third coin over here is special. That is a coin from the old Paul Kruger's Transvaal Republic.
Woe. Yes,
En-
jy het nooit geweet nie, Lee. Jy het ewe iets
Ja.
van Paul Kruger gehad.
And it's of course a sixpence. And
Oh, right.
it is they're very, very collectible now. They're made out of incredibly fine silver. It's like 0.975 or something like that. There's a sense in which the Boers, because they were Boers at the time, had better quality British denominated coinage than the Brits did. It was absolutely beautiful. The coins were designed, and the original minting machine was set up in Germany and then sent out to Pretoria. And that's when the South African Mint was started. And that machine still exists. And
Wow.
it sits at Gold Reef City, and you can pay a little bit extra and get a R5 coin that was minted on
really?
the original machine that made these guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So it's very nice to see.
mean,
this is probably what.
I mean, look at the design. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, it's very, very typical of the era. Wreaths and things like that. And this
rock.
guy would be upwards of about $150, I'd say. It's not in great
Wow.
condition, but it's nice. It's very nice.
Oh, there we go, Lee. You're rich.
You have a very nice coin there, Lee. Now,
Excellent.
Gino, let's talk about
Yes.
your great disappointment.
Yes, my great disappointment here now. Look at that.
And
I
you know
mean, that
what-
was it. When you see that in your old drawer and you think, yes, like that guy was in my grandfather's collection. I'm rich.
You should spend less time ferreting in your drawers, my friend. But unfortunately, it's got the one staver 1783, and it's
Yes.
looking great for being a remarkably historic coin. And then
Yes,
you flip it over, and
1700s.
it says Van Riebeck
Ah.
replica. Now, there used to be a coffee brand in
Ah.
South Africa called Van Riebeck. They made they were like the Frisco of the 1970s and maybe
Yes.
60s. And they had
Van Riebeck
this
coffee. I remember them now.
yeah, they had this set of replica coins, historical South African coins, that there's one in every tin of coffee. And the whole idea was to collect the full set. So
Oh.
you've got a couple of old Dutch dollars. That's a Reiter, a silver Reiter. I actually have one of those. And this one, I can't remember what's supposed to be on the other side. This one's a Spanish piece of 8 replica.
All right.
There is Gino's coin.
Yeah, there's my one. There it is.
There's a replica golden moher, which was a coin struck for British India.
Okay.
We've got 2 Deuts, which were a Dutch provincial small change coin, a British cartwheel penny, a British shilling. That thing, which is a Skips golden, it was actually the first coin that was ever minted specifically for South Africa.
Oh,
And
wow.
they kind of never made it here because the ship sunk on its way.
Ah, damn that weather. Cape Town.
And then this little quartered one over here, which is actually supposed to look like that, because what the Dutch would do, what everyone did back then, is if you needed to make change out of big coins, you just chucked them into quarters, and now you had.
All right.
And that one's countermarked
Chop 'em up.
for one of the Dutch colonies in the Caribbean. I think it's Curacao,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. So that's the whole set.
Okay.
And believe
Gee
it or not,
whiz.
finding the whole set is really hard.
I've
I'm
only
missing,
got the one, you know.
I'm missing that coated one. And a
Oh,
full
okay,
set
okay.
will now be worth upwards of 300, 350 rand. Especially beautiful condition like this. But you know, for years, we were giving these things to their kids to play with. and
Yes,
so
yeah.
might be one of the reasons I got interested in coins. So these come up often.
Right.
If you see any of these, you haven't won the jackpot, but you do have
Okay.
something very nice, and you should keep it and treasure it for what it is.
Yes. Rick Coffee. Whereupon Rebecca Coffee thing.
Let's
Oh
see
man, what a disappointment. Well, how do you sell your coins? Do you go online or?
I very seldom sell coins. I'm more a buyer. I'm an accumulator.
Right.
But ultimately,
Yes.
when I do start my retirement business and open a coin shop, I'll be doing a lot of
Yes.
bid or buy. Yes, yeah.
Oh right.
Well,
Okay,
we
bid or
spoke
buy.
about the crowns earlier. We looked at the 1953 crown. This is the 1981 crown that commemorates the wedding of Charles and the late Lady Diana Spencer.
Lady Da. It's
Yeah,
Lady
and-
Da.
It's Lady Gar, yeah, and yeah, it's again, it was more or less dished out as a souvenir, but it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Another important narrative of the 20th century revolves around the event commemorated here. So that was Justin Moore's coin. Thank you very much for sending that in, Justin. I'm afraid your value on that's probably about 15 rand, but also keep it for what it is.
Yes. Keep it for your grandchildren. It'll be worth 40 rand by then.
Yes, and Simon Brown, thank you. More crowns. The British make a lot of these. Some of these are very recent. I mean, there's a 2002 here, and
yes.
and some of these when the crowns first when Britain first went decimal, the crown was worth 25 pence. But it was so much bigger than all the other coins that they revalued it after a while. And these are £5 crowns. So yeah, that's great. The Queen Mother. I don't actually know what this is. It's very nice though. I love the.
She looks a bit scary in that one, I tell you.
In the first one, the Queen Mother.
The Queen Mother, the right-hand side one, yeah.
I don't think she would have tolerated any of this Oprah nonsense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure she wouldn't.
No.
The Queen Mother. 1992. I see, and Natasha's saying she had a 1981 coin as well. I remember, I do believe that we went to school, but we all had TVs at school. Were you old enough to remember that?
I was forced to watch this in 1983.
Yes.
We were all marched into a classroom and forced to watch Charles and Diana getting hitched.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
we did go in there.
And I also remember that
there
because
we
of
go.
the equity boycott against South Africa, we weren't allowed to hear the British trumpeters. So they obviously had an oak with a tape recorder at the SABC, and every time.
Yes, what a disappointment for you, Andrew, being a trumpeter and all.
These coins from Terry Fogarty, they're not valuable, but they're really interesting because this is when South Africa moved over from pence, shillings, and pounds to rands and cents.
Yeah. Oh right.
And these
Decimal
brass
Dan, the rond cent man.
Yeah, I was going there because these
brass
cents were the size of pennies, and this set of coins was only minted for 4 years so that people could get their heads around the rands and cents before they shifted to our 80s money. Honestly, I have buckets of these. Almost everyone who collects coins has buckets of these. It is nice to see the full set year by year.
Yes.
And
right. Yes. Look at that. Eh?
And and I love the song. Decimal Dan, the rand cent man, gives you cents or pennies whenever he can. Along with the long elaborate formula.
I seem to remember you having to say rond. You had to say rond because it was like the witwatersrand rond.
Yeah, and then English-speaking people messed it up so bad. Give up.
Let's stop that.
And of course, that is the shilling of the time. It's actually a 10-cent coin. The Queen's head is gone and replaced with Jan van Riebeeck. But
they don't say it's Jan van Riebeeck. They say that's not really Jan van Riebeeck though. Isn't that the story that that photo of him wasn't really him or something?
That's correct. It's because the when they got to The Hague to go and look through the old VOC archives, they discovered that Jan van Riebeeck was a dreadful-looking alcoholic. And so what they did was they just like flipped through until they found a more handsome looking guy, and said, well, mate, you're the new Jan van Riebeeck. So all our statue
There's probably
in
somebody
center
completely different.
and the old coins and our money, our old money, it's a lie. But
It's a
somewhere
lie.
there is a picture of old Jan van Riebeeck, and
Yeah.
you can see why they didn't use him, because he you know
He's such an ugly bastard.
yeah he's quite corpulent and
So
so
it was a little bit, he was probably leaning on something then. Jan van Riebeeck's probably leaning on something. I mean, this looks
And then,
like,
of course,
I always said this looks like Deep Purple, this guy. He's just playing, he plays bass for Deep Purple or something. That
he
Jan van
does, he
Riebeeck.
does look like that very befont hair. And of course, then
You should have
we've got,
spandex on. Yeah.
we've got Hendrik Verwoerd on this one.
Oh, Hendrik, ja, was hy?
Yeah,
Yes,
well, that was the reason why I'm showing this one is because
yes.
our rands, this coin has got the same design as our current rands and our old nickel rands from the 70s on the other side. But these first rands, up to 1977, were 80% silver.
Wow.
And they were
Wow.
actually intended to circulate, but of course nobody did. They just kept them in a box at home. So there's quite a
Yes.
lot of them out there, and they're usually in great condition. I mean, this coin is in beautiful condition, and they in terms of the silver content, they're worth about $200 each.
Wow.
So yeah, if you've got a whole drawer full of those, you are.
There we go,
you're-
Terry.
But please don't melt them down. Sell them to somebody like me.
All right.
However, if you see them and they've got 1977 or later dates, they're just made of nickel and they're worth virtually
Okay.
nothing. So
All
yeah.
right.
And then Gino,
So it's
if
the
you
early
go
ones.
to the market, the early ones, yeah. I have prepared
Yes.
some of my own coins that I wanted to show, and
Yes.
the reason why I'm kind of jumping onto this now is because I've got load shedding in 5 minutes.
Oh dear. Yes. Yes, we might have to have a look. Yes.
So
A
I've
quick squiz.
picked three of the coins I feel blessed to have in my collection.
Yeah.
And the first one is this, which is a ancient Greek tetrabol from about 230 BC,
Wow.
but it was minted in Egypt because it's part of the old Greek kingdom wasn't like Rome. The old Greek Empire wasn't like Rome, where you sort of had an emperor. It was more like the United States, where you had a collection of affiliated states working together. And the guys that ran Egypt were the Ptolemies, who were also famous in Egyptology and stuff like that. And this coin would have been minted for Ptolemy III.
Wow.
And he, obviously, minting technique was very different there. They sort of put the glob of metal on kind of like a lathe thing and spun it around and pushed it. And then once it was already flat, they hammered the picture into it. The picture here being Ptolemy III stylized as Zeus on the front of the coin. And on the back of the coin, you have got the eagle of the Ptolemies, with a very badly drawn cornucopia, which is the horn of plenty, the basket with the fruit flooding out of it, behind him. And of course, the wonderful Greek lettering, Ptolemeos, and I don't remember what that says. It's a Greek word meaning the benefactor, basically. I couldn't, I'd be hard pressed to pronounce it now. So that is actually the oldest coin I own. And if I were to, if I had to choose one coin and give all the rest away, I'd be happy just to have this coin. It's so beautiful.
It's amazing.
This very
See, there are some
up-
people. No, I just see there are some people posting some in the comments, posting some pictures. I must just see if Gary can get hold of them.
Yeah, when my load shedding happens and I switch over to the phone, we'll chat
Have
to
a
your
squiz.
heart's content.
Yes.
This is a very interesting coin. It's a Robin is asking a question that I'd like to answer very quickly.
Yeah.
The coin from
Robin,
1562.
that coin, I believe, is a that's not the one I was looking for. Yes, that coin is either a shilling or a sixpence from Queen Elizabeth I. You know, she
Oh, there
of
we go.
Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. It's very beautiful, and I was very surprised to see that come up. That's worth quite a lot, and you should hang on to that. It's really beautiful, and you know you very seldom get the old English coins in South Africa. I've got a Edward I penny from 1295 kind of thing, and it's the only one I've ever seen in collecting coins for years and years and years. So, and I've never seen a genuine Elizabethan coin like that. So fantastic find. It's beautiful. I'm going to put it on the screen in a short while.
Okay.
So this is a British Indian coin in terrible condition.
Sure.
It's been mounted in jewelry, and you can see on the reverse side it's quite badly beaten up.
Okay.
The thing that makes it amazing is that it's got that little countermark on it.
Yes.
For Portuguese Mozambique. So what happened to this coin was it landed up in Mozambique. Probably somebody brought it there from India.
Wow.
Mozambique at the time had difficulty getting silver coins from anywhere else because they're far away from Portugal. So what they would do is they'd take other people's coins and put that stamp on them and say, right, now this is Mozambican money and you can spend it here.
Okay. Wow.
And of course, dealing with these is really hard because they're so easy to fake. Because you can take a cheap host coin and put a fake stamp on it. Or you can take a valuable host coin and put a fake stamp on it to increase the value even further.
All right.
But this one has been validated by the university in Maputo, which has a fantastic numismatics department. And I'm very happy to have it. I bought it on an auction. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I'm very happy.
Wow.
Sure.
I see Robin asking how much her one was worth. I don't know. It was 1562.
I love that coin. I'm going to put it up in a second, but I'd want to then just contrast that with this beautiful 2019 £2 coin.
Wow.
I own this coin because Martin, who was chirping up earlier, was generous enough, and I'm really humbled and grateful to send me a mint set from the UK in 2019. And this one commemorates the D-Day landings.
Wow,
in
look at that.
exquisite accuracy. Look at the map and the roads.
Incredible.
And the different beaches indicated on the arrows. And it's a beautifully designed coin for a very important thing. And this is what I wish all coins were like, all modern coins were like. I absolutely love this thing. It's one of my favorite modern coins that I have. And of course, the fact that it's bimetallic and it just drifts through in the map part, the joints and the two metals, indicates how well it's fitted. It's really beautiful. And then I also wanted to mention that we're getting quite a nice new coin this year. The news broke this morning, actually.
Oh, nice.
The last of our new 2 rands is going to be
lovely.
Also, Gino, with negative 2 minutes into load shedding, I really do owe it to Robin to put up that beautiful coin.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah. You see now these old coins were minted very, very roughly. I mean, it wasn't a mechanical machine minting process. People actually had to hammer these out. And this one is Elizabeth I. That's the classic portrait, which you can almost see. The coin is old. You're not going to make out great details. And on the reverse, you've got the royal arms, the very same royal arms that you find on British coins now, 500 years later. As I say, without knowing the exact measurements, I don't know enough about these to be able to tell you whether it's a sixpence or a shilling. I suspect it's a sixpence. And Robin, unfortunately, as for value, I can't guess, because I don't deal with these often enough to be able to give you a valuation without resorting to my copy of Spink's Guide to the Value of British Coins,
Yes.
which is far off in the other room, and mine's quite old. But I will look for it, and I will let you know, because
thank you,
it's
Andrew.
a real treat to see something like this.
Okay, so something special.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I mean, I know I mean, there's so many interesting stories with the coins. You know, it's always and I've seen some of your posts before. We were talking about the 1 cent, the 1965 1 cent piece.
Oh yeah, no, that coin is crazy valuable, because what happened was in 1965 they brought out a bilingual system of coins. So every denomination would be struck in English and in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
In the same year. And when they fired up the machine, the Afrikaans die broke after they'd made, sort of like less than 200 of them. But they still had the English die, so they could still make the coins for the year, and it didn't seem worth fixing the thing. And as a result, that Afrikaans coin of 1965 is incredibly super rare. And I mean, you're looking at tens of thousands of rand. If it's in great condition, you're easily looking at upwards of 50,000 rand for that. There are two coins in South African history that are just spectacular like that. There's the 1965 Afrikaans 1 cent, and there's the 1931 3 pence, the 1931 tikkie. A similar thing happened there, but they'd only made 82 of them at that point.
Wow.
And so they are, if you can find them, they are worth a king's ransom. And that's why, I mean, I know of people who have bought tikkies by the kilogram, just so that they can sort through them and look for a 1931, because it would totally be worth it if you found one.
Yes.
I don't have one, just to be clear. I've never even seen one in real life. I don't ever expect to own one in my life, because they're really that rare, and even finding somebody with one who wants to sell it is just almost impossible. So.
Oh my word! But Andrew, thank you, man. I think that's a good spot to end there. I don't know if there's anybody else that can put stuff in the comments. We can always answer later as well, and sends. Bitcoins. What's your thought on Bitcoin?
I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin, unfortunately. No, because they're a different kind of coin. And Robin, I've just taken your number down.
Excellent.
It's I find Bitcoin very interesting, and as a tech guy, I actually do have some Bitcoin holdings, and at one stage I even wrote myself an automatic trading bot, which quite a lot of money, for me, my trading bot wasn't that great, but Angie, thank you for reminding me.
Oh right, okay.
We have to look at this one.
Yes,
it's beautiful, and I love the fact that we have provenance. We know where it comes from. That's from Portuguese India. India used to have
the rock pool.
Yeah, before the British took it over, India had a couple of places, including there was Danish India and Portuguese India. This coin isn't in Sacramento, though. It's about 150 years more recent than the coins that would have been on the Sacramento.
The Sacramento. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it would definitely have come off one of the wrecks around the Skunies area. And it's lovely. I've seen a couple of these come up for auction recently. So obviously somebody's found a stash of them somewhere. And this one, even though it's got a little bit of encrustation on it, is it's in better condition than most of the ones I've seen on auction. I absolutely love it.
She found it in a rock pool. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm sorry we didn't get to it earlier. It's just the imminence of the load shedding.
We don't know if it's going to load shed. We don't know yet.
8 minutes.
So you say 150 years after Sacramento, because that Sacramento story is also fascinating. I love it. We've got to do something on it at some stage. I mean, these people that land here when there was nothing here, you know, just possibly the Gqeberha River, and and having to walk from here to, I think, Lorenzo Marx or
Yes, to
or
Lorenzo
to,
Marx.
to
It's crazy.
yeah, from here to Maputo.
Oh,
You know.
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know if
There we go.
you guys can still
You're still
hear me.
going. You're still on. You're still on. I can see you. It's just a bit dark. That's okay. Can you hear me, Andrew? Oh, there he's gone. Okay, we've lost Andrew for a minute. We're going to go across to his telephone, and we're going to see if we can find him
Gino,
again.
are you still in
Oh,
the,
there we
in
go.
the house?
We're back. Look at that. we've got a screen in a screen at the moment. I see. Oh, there we go. He's just switching over to his phone quickly because he's had load shedding at 8 o'clock, obviously. But I think we've got through most of the stuff that we wanted to as well. We'll just get him on and say thank yous and goodbyes, I think. But what an interesting show! Amazing. It looks like a date 1828 on it. Oh, okay. So it's just that's and to find it in a rock pool is absolutely amazing. I see Linda Trollop saying thank you, Andrew, for all the info and the coins in your collection is very interesting. I know you can just imagine. He's only pulled out a couple of coins for us, but he must have thousands there. Here he comes again. All right, we back in. Andrew, we're back. We're back in there. It's dark.
It's all a little bit dark here at the moment.
Oh, that's fine. As long as we can hear you, we're okay. But Andrew, I just see all the messages coming in saying thank you so much for the information. It's absolutely fantastic, and I've loved today's show. I'm a history fan.
Gino, I really have appreciated your warm audience, your warm welcome, and expertise in hosting something like this. It's been a great evening.
Yeah, it's been great fun, and I see Angie saying thanks, Andrew and Gino. So I think they're quite excited, this lot, about their coins. You know.
Well, I'm glad that somebody else is also excited by coins now, because I actually find them tremendously relaxing and diverting, and I'm very fond of my coins, and I'm very fond of the processes I go through with my coins. So yeah.
I love the passion that you give out with it. You know, it's great, and it's contagious, because if someone like you gets onto a coin or something and you think, oh, this could be amazing. And I see Philip is saying that, you know, this was like our vintage roadshow idea. I think you're quite right. We wanted to do a little bit of a vintage roadshow for people to send in pictures of their stuff. Oh, there we go. We got you in the dark. That's fantastic.
There we go.
I love it.
My lighting next to the phone.
Oh, well done on that. But Andrew, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been fantastic to have you. Even we got right to the end, and we got everything in. I'm so glad that we just got to the goodbyes in the dark.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Thank you for having me. And
now,
yeah.
I always ask my guests questions. Two questions at the end. Your proudest moment and your most embarrassing moment. Proudest moment from you.
Well, a couple of years ago, I was when I say a couple of years ago, it must have been the early 2000s, and myself and some friends were working our own tech company in Port Elizabeth, and we'd made a piece of software that was selling quite well. It was Windows utility software, and people all over the world were buying it. But I'll never forget the day that we made our first South African sale. We sold hundreds of copies by that point. And then this guy from Cape Town bought it. And I mean, we were charging $40, so it wasn't an insignificant amount of money even then. And somebody local had spent all his rents on our software. I tell you what, Gino, I was so happy that I almost wanted to get into the car and go and deliver it to him personally.
Drive.
Because he would have had no idea we were South African, let alone Port Elizabeth.
Yes.
So
that's fantastic.
That was great. As for the worst moments, you always come up with with all kinds of disasters along the way.
Yes.
I don't know. Were we talking about professional projects or personal projects?
It's yeah.
I think that coming to Cape Town to get married was a pretty bad thing.
I'll give you that one.
You guys have no idea how much I still miss the Eastern Cape. After 15 years of trying to adjust, I still feel sometimes like I'm just, maintaining an embassy here. Especially on nights like tonight when I've got to deal with all you wonderful Eastern Cape people.
Indeed. Now, Robin van Kraan wants a winner, please. She wants a winner of the coins. Who won the coins?
But Robin, with coins, we're all winners.
It's yours, Robin. You win the coins. It's competition. I don't know. But we've got our other competition coming as well now. We've got to win the Fitch and Leeds. You're going to get a nice Fitch and Leeds as well, Andrew. We're going to send one down to you.
That's wonderful.
A case.
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
A pleasure. And
wonderful. That will not go.
Thank you so much,
Gino.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Enjoy.
It's been wonderful. Yes, I will do. All right. Ciao, Andrew. In the dark, Andrews, and thank you so much to Andrew. He's been absolutely wonderful. And I follow his posts on Facebook. He's a maniac. I love his passion. I love the fact that he's not scared just to say what he wants, and his passion for his coins. Fantastic. And of course the cars and his Formula One. Please share that Formula One site. It's absolutely amazing. Now, for you guys that are left online, it is time for the competition. We're going to go over to the drum cam, and I'm going to play a song. I've done something slightly different this time. We're putting in a track, so there's no singing, but you've still got to guess the song and the artist. All right. So over to the drum cam, the song and the artist in the comments, and you win some Fitch and Leeds. Let's see what it is. We have a winner indeed. Thank you all for joining us. I've had fun tonight. It's been wonderful. All right, Andy Weiswanger, you are the winner. You are the winner of the prize. We'll see you on Tuesday, where we have, ladies and gentlemen, Albert Frost is coming on. Of course, the Blues Brews dude. Amazing guitar player. He's coming to the Music Kitchen as well soon, so we've got him online before he even gets here. Thank you to Spa, thank you to Fitch and Leeds, and thank you to Amubia. We'll see you on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Andrew Freeborn. You're a legend. Woo!
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.